All right then, so we get into the middle, and what we actually need to do now is to um create readers. Okay, if you notice when we're installing our packages, we kind of install readers and React readers. Let me just show you this readers and React readers and readers. So let's just go ahead and start using them, and we're just going to be using and store um data that we get from an endpoint so that we can then distribute them across um our views or our components. So if you're new to readers, it might look a little bit technical, but if you try it and use it in your project once, I can assure you you won't forget the whole logic behind it. And I'm going to make it very very simple so that you can actually use it whenever you want to use it. So the first thing we need to do is create a folder that we house or that we house our readers. So we're going to say readers, we're just going to call it readers. Okay, so yeah, so in our readers we have three parts, right? We're going to divide it into three parts, probably four. So you're going to create four folders, and the first one is going to be a store, our reader subject itself. We're going to have reducers folder, we're going to have actions folder, actions that we can dispatch. You understand, because you can't actually modify data within your reducers. You need to disperse actions to actually modify this data, and we're going to have constant. So let's just go ahead and start doing that. I'm going to call this store. Okay, and the next one, I'm actually going to create another one. I'm going to call this reducer reducers, and another one that I'm going to create is going to be actions. Okay, so this is where all our actions are going to be, and the next one I'm going to create will be definitely constant. Okay, so constant is going to hold all our constants. So yeah, so that's just it. And the first thing we need to do is, since we're working on category, so let's just go ahead and create the constants for categories. So this will be category dot JS. Okay, so these are just purely constants. So let's start with the simple one, constant, and this will be save categories. So this will be like the action name rather. So this will be save categories. So simple as that. We have our constants. Then the next thing we can do is go ahead and go into our actions. So we need to actually create those actions. So this will be category uh, category.js. Okay, simple as that. And right here we're going to create some two methods. So two method, um let's just create one now. One is to set the list of all the categories we get from our endpoint. So set categories categories, and this will actually have a payload. Okay, that's the data coming from the endpoint, and right here we want to return an action, and the type will be save. You remember we created those constants so that we can use them across multiple pages. So we're going to have the payload. Okay, simple as that, and I think that's all. So create export constant. Okay, constant. All right. So I think this is all we need to do, and let's just get the spelling correct. This is actually constant. It's nice. Okay. Let's just get the spellings correct, guys. You guys probably saw that, right? All right. So let's just go ahead and yeah. So the next thing we need to do is to create our reducer. So I think this will be the most technical part of it. So this will be category.js. So basically, this is going to be like the most technical part of it, because our reducer is going to be like all technical. So, but it's actually very simple. I'm going to explain so it could be simple. So, what we're going to do is we're going to have an initial state, okay, like an empty state, like nothing has ever happened. We've not saved anything. So this will be state, and we can then say categories, okay. So this will be a state. It's going to be an empty array. We already know that we're going to be getting an array of categories, right? So it's going to be an empty array for start, or you can make it null. It all depends on you. So constant categories, so this is a method, and for here the state is going to be the initial state object we created earlier. So initial state and action. Okay. So two arguments, guys. This is taking two arguments. Our reducers is taking two arguments. If you're familiar with the reduce reducer hook on React, you're going to know this. So it's going to take an initial state and an action. Okay. So the first one, first we're going to create a switch statement so that we can know the type of actions that we're working with. So action dot type will be the dependent value, will be the determined value rather. So we're going to have different cases, okay? So if the action name is going to save categories, okay? If it is equal to save categories, then what do we want to do? We want to return state, but we want to spread those states, the current value of the state. We're going to spread them out. Then we're going to modify what we just need. So category is going to be action dot payload. Okay, simple as that. And I think that's it. And by default, we're going to break out of the um, we're going to return state. Okay, simple as that. So right here we're going to export default, and by default this is going to be category. So this is just how simple it is to actually create your reducer. You know, I said it's going to be complicated, but in the real sense it's not actually complicated. So this will be from yeah, I think so. All right. So the next thing we need to do is we need to actually create our store. Okay. So but before then, all these actions, because we can have multiple actions, so let's just create an index.js. And what we can do from this index.js is we can then export all our actions from uh from the files themselves. So this will be category. So something like this, we can do something like this, and we're going to do the same thing to the reducers. So we don't need to actually go within the files to actually import them. So simple as that. So within our store method, within our store, we need to create we need to actually use those reducers. So in our store, this will be index.js. Okay. So right now we need to actually import some few things from Redux. So the first thing we need to install is the create store and apply middleware. Okay. And we need to also use compose. Yeah. So all from Redux. Okay. So Redux is a very powerful tool, guys. So we need to actually import reducers reducers from reducers. Okay, so you can see what I'm talking about earlier. So constant middleware, equal to an empty array. So just follow me. I'm just going to type everything, then explain later. So basically this is all we need to do. And yeah, so we're done with readers. We've created readers, we've created reducers and everything. So we need to actually wrap components with the store provider, with the provider from React Readers. So what React Readers does is it's just connect your React app to Readers. So we need to actually do that. And yeah, so right here we need to do that within our app.js. So let's just go into our app.js. So right here we're going to look for um provider. Okay, provider. Okay, so we need to actually import provider from React Redux. Provider from React Redux. Okay, Redux. And that's all we need to do. And we need to also provide our store. So the store that we created, we need to provide that. So we're going to import store from reducer slash store. Okay, simple as that. And what else do we need to do? Store. Okay, like I told you, for every open there must be a close. Okay, that's the rules. That's one of the rules I live with. So yeah, slash provider. Okay, so let's just see if that works. Yeah, this should works. So let's just see if that works. And yeah, so simple as that. So provider. So if we should go ahead and could not resolve in front end source. Okay, this is actually Redux. Okay, Redux, not reducer. Okay, so let's refresh and see. Okay, so imported as Redux not found. Okay, so we have an error right here in our store. Let's see Redux. Let's see store. Okay, so we have an error right here. All right then. Seems seems we've not finished working on our code, so we need to actually import combine reducer. So because we will actually want to combine this with other modules, so we need to actually use a combine reducers from Redux. Okay, so you're actually going to import category from let's just be consistent category. Okay, simple as that. And what we can now do now is reducers. Okay, it's got to combine reducers. So we need to specify the reducers that we want to put into reduce. So this will be category. Okay. I think this is all. This is all we need to do. Yeah. So this is all we need to do. So let's just export that module. So export default reducers. Okay. All right. So simple as that. I think the error should be gone by now. Yeah, so the error is gone. Let's just refresh and see that